I'm Colin, and this is the all-new Aston Martin Vanquish. Alright guys, new Aston Martin Vanquish. Holy smokes. Wow. I have never felt a car freight train like that. Holy smokes. So, new Aston Martin Vanquish. Really fast, yes, extremely fast. I've never felt a gas car, or like a gas-powered car, ice car, whatever you want to call it, freight train like that ever in my life. That is very impressive. But let's say you want to dial it down. We don't want to be in Sport Plus mode right now. We want to be in GT mode. The entire car calms right down perfectly. Like, I'm actually on a bumpy surface, and yeah, it's very comfortable. It calms right down. It's kind of like a dual personality almost. It's very impressive. But let's turn it back to Sport Plus mode. Your gauge turns red. Your steering actually changes as well. And on the topic of steering, I've never felt steering this communicative ever, actually. I am very impressed with the way this feels in terms of, like, steering wise. Of throttle, the V12 in this car is all new. It is a 5.2 liter twin turbocharged V12 that is, like I said, all new components, everything, which is insane in 2025 because I can only count the amount of V12 cars for sale on one hand. So that makes this car automatically very, very special. And I do like the way the steering wheel feels. It's big, it's meaty, you have a really nice grip on it. It just overall feels very good. And if you whip it into a corner, it's actually very impressive because it's 4,200 pounds, which isn't super heavy, but it's not light either, and it's a very long wheelbase. It masks its weight very, very well. And the brakes are also very, very impressive. And speaking of the way this car pulls, it has something that Aston Martin calls boost reserve. So it kind of restricts intake flow for a bit during times like this for half throttle, so you can just stab it. And it has all of the power and torque there, which I don't know how well it definitely helps, but it's not like a magic wand for getting rid of turbo lag. Although it is very impressive. And the sounds that this car makes is actually very entertaining. The downshifts sound good, and there's even kind of like some snaps and burbles on upshifts. And speaking of upshifts, this car has a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, which is actually quite impressive. It is extremely close to a dual clutch. I'm very impressed by it, and I have been in this car around a track before, and it hides its weight so well. It just, you can track this car and you can do very, very well. I mean, by no means is it a Porsche GT2 RS, but it's about as good as it gets for a GT car. Now, one thing about this car that I really have to give it is the way this car manages its traction very well. Like I said, it has 824 horsepower going all to the rear wheels. And there's barely any slip whatsoever on pulls like that. It's kind of a predictable slide when it does step out. And this car has a new electronic limited slip differential, which definitely attributes to the handling characteristics of this car, which, as previously stated, are very impressive. One thing I have noticed about the steering is actually, I think it changes the firmness depending on how fast you're going. So if you slow down, it's really light. I mean, perfect for maneuvering around parking lots, but if you speed up, it firms right up and it gets stiffer, which is a very good feel. And I do like the overall paddle feel of these carbon fiber paddles. I know a lot of people will prefer metal, and this is definitely way better than plastic, but I like the carbon fiber. Now that we have seen how this wonderful car drives, let's pull over and check out some of the features. But first, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any videos like these. So here we are in front of the new Aston Martin Vanquish, and I must say, this is definitely by far one of, if not the best looking car on the market today. This car is finished in beautiful tungsten silver metallic with these gorgeous bronze wheels. And yeah, it just looks really good. It does have a curb weight of 4,200 pounds, and it is a relatively long car. It's got the wheelbase of a super yacht, but it is awesome. On the Vanquish, you get all sorts of really awesome trim pieces. So like down on like the side skirts, we have carbon side skirts. We have little carbon gill / vent right there. And on top of the hood, you have more carbon vents. And the awesomeness does not stop there. There's a massive carbon fiber rear diffuser, quad tip exhaust pipes to let that V12 just sing, which sounds really awesome. And then this new taillight design is very unique and it is really cool. I haven't seen anything like it on really any other car. And an interesting part about the rear end is this tail pan right here. You can have that in any color you want, or even carbon fiber. This one is finished in the body color, and yeah, this rear end just looks great. Now here we are in front of the Vanquish, and it looks very signature Aston Martin. So you have the new headlights, you have the massive Aston Martin style front grille. It just overall looks great. And I must mention that the reason that front grille is so massive is because it genuinely needs all of that grille to cool the car. Aston Martin decided to put the engine as low and as far back as well as compact as humanly possible. So as you could imagine, that twin-turbo V12 gets very hot. So here we are inside of the Aston Martin Vanquish, and well, to say I love the interior is an understatement. There's a lot of really nice features in here, and just the overall quality of the interior is just almost second to none. We have these carbon fiber paddles on the steering wheel, a lot of carbon fiber throughout this interior, like up on the dash, up on the center stack, and even the door cards. There's also some Alcantara in here on the headliners, the dash, and the very top of the doors. Behind the steering wheel, you will find your digital gauge cluster, which is smaller than actually most cars, but it's perfectly sized. You don't really need anything bigger than it. You have the new Aston Martin infotainment, which is actually very good. Everything that needs to be a button in this interior is a button, and everything that needs to be on a screen is on a screen. It is a very, very well thought out interior. An interesting feature in not just the Vanquish, but all Aston Martins is where you adjust the seat at. It's not on the side, like below the seat or anything. It's actually right up on the center stack almost. You can actually see it, which is a good thing. It's very nice to have, actually. I quite like it. And like I said, this interior just screams quality. The Aston Martin Vanquish is one of the greatest cars of our time. Everything about it is special, the way it drives, the engine, and of course, the way it looks. It does exactly what it is supposed to do and does it very well. Thank you for watching, and subscribe so I can see you in the next one.